Okay, well, it is the next day, and I've been working on this mower some more, and I've got the Varimatic pulley off of it, and actually it was stuck, so I got it going again. I think it's lubricated and turns good and moves freely, seems like. I hope that's how that's supposed to work. I don't see any other way it would work. Somebody said it's spring loaded, but if it is, there ain't no spring in this one. But anyway, so it's got lube in it now, and it's ready to go back in. It actually moves up and down on its own weight. Now it wouldn't do anything before it was stuck. So, and I got the mower over here propped up and working under it. Got my chair under there so it won't hopefully fall on me. But I have had to teach myself how to work on this mower because I looked around and tried to find information on how to repair and service these things, and I just couldn't find anything usable. So what I had to end up doing was this Varimatic pulley, Transmatic, whatever you want to call it, sits in there on the other side of that. That's a sealed bearing right here, which feels okay. And this thing, I think somebody said it's got needle bearings in it, and they feel good. It doesn't feel loose or anything. Just felt like it got out of lubrication, I guess, and probably sat out in the weather. I can tell this thing's been sitting outside, so that's that. And this is the bolt that goes on the bottom of it. Just threads in here and holds it into this. And I had to remove some stuff, namely to get to it, namely this plate under here had to come out, and I think that's the way that went. Yeah, because it bolts onto the transmission right there. The well, that's the axle. That's not a transaxle, I guess. I don't know what you call it. I guess you could call it transaxle. It's just like a rear end to me, gearbox. And that was that. And then there was a big spring. Looks like something goes on a screen door, but it went right here like that, or like that. I don't remember which, and I probably won't remember until I get ready to put it back together. And one of these, let's see, this thing here, this appears to be the speed, the pivot for the speed control. Looking at it, it's got a long rod that works right here and comes back to the speed shifter there. So that's that, and it's got a thing here. I guess that kind of popped loose when I was messing with it, but it's got a special bolt that goes in it right here. Looks like it needs to be, this thing needs lubricated a lot, I can tell, because it's got, you look under there, that's rust stains, and it's coming off of this thing, and had rust stains here too, so evidently that needs to be greased. So that's what I'll do, and then I'll put the Transmatic assembly hopefully back together. I sure hope I can figure this thing out. We'll see, won't we? So that's what I got on day 2 so far. I just actually started working. I just got home from work not long ago. So do I want to know what that is? I probably don't. Okay, I will update you when I got something to update you with. See ya. Well, okay, I've got this Transmatic back together. Wasn't really that hard to do. I think I've got it back the way it's supposed to be. Got the belts back on it, and everything seems to be functioning properly. I'm thinking that there's a rod down there that comes back from the clutch. You can see that one right there. Kind of, I guess that is the clutch. Anyway, it's all the way to the end of its threads on that agility adjuster, so I'm thinking that I'm going to have to deal with that here. But this thing has got other things that need to be addressed now, so I'm going to move on to that. Number one, there's no battery box. I don't know where the battery box is to it. Got to get one. I got a junkyard up in Tennessee that's got mowers that they sell parts off of, so I may see if I can find one there. But This here don't look too good, so I wonder what secrets this is hiding. Let's find out. And it wasn't too good. Here's the muffler hanging off by one bolt. It's totally disconnected there now. Get this, guys. This is what these fools did. This is one of these redneck shortcuts, I guess you'd say. Instead of putting bolts back in this muffler to connect it again, which simply means pick it back up, line it up, and put 2 bolts in right there. Instead of doing that and fixing it the right way, they took that damn piece of coat hanger over there and coat hanger wired the muffler back up. And you know, I've seen this so much. I've been traumatized. I'm numb to this now. These kind of things people do, and it shocks me on a daily basis why people will spend so much effort to do something like this. That's a totally shoddy, stupid, terrible job at trying to repair something, and it's a lazy shortcut is what it is. They'll do that and spend all that effort to do that, something that's ridiculous, instead of just repairing the thing the right way. I was at someplace today. I stopped for something and I saw if somebody had their window in their car, it wouldn't roll all the way up, so they had taped the rest of the space there with tape all over it. And they tape up tail lights, and they'll tape up mirrors on cars, and you've seen all the stuff I've dealt with on my cars I buy, and now it's on a lawnmower. And I'm going to tell you something, and I know this sounds, maybe on the face of it, this sounds kind of hateful, but it's not being hateful, it's just being truthful. I spent time up at Uncle Phil's place around him, not so much him. Uncle Phil's got his own constraints, and I know about that. I've known Uncle Phil a long time, so I'm not judging Uncle Phil at all. I'm not judging anybody, but I spent time in that neighborhood up there with those folks, and I can tell you with authority that I know what's behind all this. I know what's behind all this kind of stuff you encounter. Those of us who fix things correctly and do a good job at it and don't do stuff like this, I can tell you who does do stuff like this. And I can tell you why. The why is because that they are missing something up here. Because I stood around up there, you know, Uncle Phil would have to go in the house periodically, and you know, there's always people coming in and out at that place up there. It's just utter chaos. I don't like going up there. I like visiting Uncle Phil, but I don't like going up there. It just gets on my nerves unbelievably. But you know, you saw the chick walking around there, and she's constantly got her phone in her hand and stuff. But you know, you would stand up there and you'd see all this stuff going on. You'd hear somebody next door in their mobile home next door sound like they're just beating the walls up, just bam, 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 bam. You know, and people hollering at each other, hollering one another, and then some kid that's not, supposed to be in school, and he's not in school, he's at home. He's over there pushing the cat out the window of the trailer for some reason. You know, no, Phil says, yeah, they got 4, 5, 6, 7 dogs in that mobile home too. And then their car's sitting in the driveway, and it's got a tag on it that's not even a license tag. It's one of those dealer plates, and it's from a dealer in Daphne, Alabama, which is down near Mobile, about 300 miles from here. And they've been driving it like that ever since. And chasing a dog around, and then they're out there, you know, killing flies. They're not working. People are at home that should be working, they're not working. They're at home killing flies. And you listen to the conversations, and you just, you know, you just can't even listen to me that much of the conversation, because it's just so inane. It's so pointless. Just about everything that's said is so pointless. It's two bored people that don't have anything, you know, worthwhile to even talk about. So they resort to just picking at each other, like picking on each other and kidding each other, and it's like kids or something. They're grown at 40 years old, but it's like kids. So I know what's behind all this. You know, up there, and like I said, I don't mean to be so sarcastic about people, but I'm a good observer of folks, and I'm telling you the truth. The impression I got from being up there and seeing everything going on up there, it made me feel like I was at the zoo. You know, people just running around going in no direction. It's like they're out there, they're walking around, they're running around, they're talking, they're beating on things. You know, they're going here, going there, going back over here, beating on stuff some more, making some noise. But there's no damn point to any of it. It's just chaos. It's just activity with no purpose whatsoever. Just like the zoo. I kid you not. Just like being at the zoo. Anyway, that's enough about that. And I'm not talking about Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil, I've known Uncle Phil for many years. And Uncle Phil has his own special constraints. Let's just put it that way. That I've known about for years. And I would never put Uncle Phil down. But I'm telling you, the people up there surrounding him, about one more weekend of that, and I would be to the point I would never want to go back ever again. Ever. So I'm going to put the bolts in this and put the muffler back up. You know, it may take me all of 5 minutes to put those bolts in. But, alright guys, just a little update. See ya.